Hello there. So this is the Complexity versus Furia matchup, and it's gonna cover all 6 games that happened, and it's gonna be from the POV for the most part of the team that was winning, but it's mainly gonna focus on how well both teams played and how Furia showed up so well at the Gamers8 tournament. So this is starting off with AJG's point of view, and he starts off very well with Shad, but it really just isn't going to last long, and I'm just going to sort of let you watch for now, and I'm going to drop in with different comments and notices. So I think the great thing about this game isn't necessarily the amazing clips or just the way AJG plays perfectly in every way or anything like that, because he doesn't. But I think what this game really shows is just how impactful you can be by doing your job, and you don't have to outperform everyone, but you just play your role and your team can come out very well because you just played your job. You did your job, you didn't play your job, you did your job, and you saw it through to the end. And so that's like one thing I want to focus on. So just his consistency and rotation always being there for his teammates. He's been very consistent with this game, and he's usually pretty consistent with that through all of his games. And he is about to make a mistake that is going to cost his team something, but what you're going to notice is he doesn't let that stop him from doing his job. He doesn't let it get into his head. He doesn't rethink entirely how he's playing. He notices he makes a mistake and he's going to fix it. He's going to perform how his team needs him. And that's just sort of showing the mental that these guys have. Like, it's a very important game, very important tournament, and how you're going to respond when you make mistakes. So that's how I really want to look at HAG during this game. So that's game 1 done. Game 2 is going to be a 1v match between Jan and Reysbull. And personally, I don't love this one's match. I know Jan did very well at ones during the event, but overall, I don't find this at all his greatest work. I think he relies way too much on risky aerial, attacks that aren't going great. And the only reason Reysbull isn't really capitalizing is because he's just not really getting the counterattacks as he really should. So I think that's definitely something to watch out for on ones, is going for these just super risky aerial attacks, because you see them just sort of shooting it at each other from range and going really worthless attacks. There hasn't been a close call yet, but on both of their failed shots, there honestly should be goals coming out. What you just saw from Jan is probably the best play they've had so far, is literally just shooting it high and stealing boosts. That's the most consistent thing you should really be doing, and obviously mix that in with the aerial attacks, and then it sort of pulls out better for you. But for most of this, they just sort of throw relatively meaningless aerial attacks at each other and then don't capitalize on each other's mistakes. But what I do want to focus on is really just how good Jan's boost management is. He is almost constantly got a significant amount of boost to either get the ball or get to 100 pad, and so I think just you can take some of the bads, I think, of this game and ignore it, but then also focus on how Yanxnz is playing the ball and the boost so well this game, and I think that's probably why he did so well this tournament. So that's definitely some of the superior play I'm talking about, just the way that Reysbull never really had a chance unless he got a great clear. He kept the pressure up, he took all the boost, and Reysbull really was not going to get that out of there unless he pulled off a miracle. And he made a mistake and lost some of the challenges worse than he should have. but in the end, that a possession like that is almost always going to end up in an easy goal for Yan. So this next game is a threes game, and it's following Caard on Furia. And I don't have a lot of comments about this game. It was just a pretty good game to watch. The main thing to notice about how Caard plays is he doesn't seem to overstay his welcome. Like he's always knows like sort of what he's capable of, and if he can't do enough, he just straight up backs off. He was thinking about going for that. He stayed up a little bit, and then the ball bounced in an unfavorable way where his teammate would have had a better shot, and so he just leaves. And like he's not afraid to just stop what isn't working and go and do what he needs to be doing, which is, you know, filling his role for the team. And so that's what, you know, should be mainly looked at with Caard, is that he just doesn't overstay his welcome. So game 4 is going to be from AJG's point of view, and the main thing that AJG does well in this game is he's very meaningful with possession. He doesn't throw it away, he doesn't just clear it for no good reason. He's very intentional about how he plays this game, and is intentional about, you know, where he puts the ball, why he puts it there, and what he can achieve by putting the ball there. When a lot of people just panic and hit the ball away and try for a reset, he's thinking about how are we going to score. And so that's sort of just the way he thinks ahead, and the way he's smart with the ball is just pretty cool to watch. So the time is getting low, and you may be thinking that this game is pretty much over, but you'll notice that when you have a good twos team and you have some good chemistry going, you can score a lot of goals in a very short amount of time. So that's sort of what to keep your eye out for, is just how a great team can score goals really quickly. So this game probably isn't over yet. It wasn't what I was talking about, but the point, it still stands. So this next game is a threes game, and we're gonna be watching from Jan's point of view. And I'd say he plays a pretty normal role, kind of like AJG did in the first threes game. But what really makes this such a interesting replay to watch is how Jan capitalizes on weakness. Different players have different things that they kind of specialize in. Monkey Moon like specializes in everything. You know, Calm specializes in disrupting the enemy. Other players specialize in having these insanely mechanical plays that just 1v3 a team at any point, like, you know, the entire phase roster can do. But what he does is he capitalizes on weakness. He sort of, in this game, he's letting his team do a lot of work, and then he doesn't usually mess up when there's a chance to score when they are in trouble. He's always sort of in that right spot to punish their mistakes. And you'll notice that when he's like shooting and there's defenders, he's not really scoring, even though he's being mechanical with it, but he is helping to disturb them by being so mechanical. And this disturbance that he and his team causes them is how they're able to capitalize on their weaknesses on so many different occasions. So this next match is going to be, the final match is going to be a 2v2, and we're going to be watching Caard. And really the thing that I took away from this is just how up close and personal Caard could get to the opponents, to complexity, without compromising his teammate. A lot of times in twos matches, being very committed, up close and personal, often like sort of can screw over your teammate pretty much. And Caard is pretty miraculous how consistently he can get these like solid 50s on the enemy's side and territory like that and mess them up, but he does it at the perfect time to where it's not a risk that if he fails or loses the 50 or the challenge overall that he's going to get scored on. So just sort of a lesson in when to commit in a twos game is what I would say this is a good example of. So it's not hard to see what went wrong there. He 100% committed something he should not have committed to. So pretty much all I have to say to that is don't do that. know, Furia gets the win. They go on to win the tournament. It was a pretty great tournament. I hope you learned something and have a great day.